Hi there. On today's episode, can Captain America handle these brave new problems in this brave new world? We'll find out on today's episode of Straight to POD. We review Captain America Brave New World.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Chris.
Nah, buddy.
This is Straight to POD. Right, we are reviewing the new Marvel movie this week. So, Eddie, can you let us know about it?
We're not gonna talk about the Gorge on Apple TV Plus.
We have 45 minutes.
This good movie. All right, yes or no? Should people watch it? We're
Yes, I want to watch it, but I don't have Apple Plus. I gotta stream it some other way. I'll stream it later.
I would say yes. Eddie should watch it,
Okay.
and the people
Chris,
at
should I
home.
watch it? Yes or no?
I didn't think it was that great, honestly. Like as a cool concept, but is just an okay movie.
All right. Shot in
All
the
right.
dark. Give me your rating.
2.5.
Ooh, straight down the
Grappling
middle.
hooks out of
Grappling hooks.
5.
Okay, I
It's
will
it's
keep an eye
better
out
than
for
a
that. I will keep an eye
2.5.
out for that. All right, Charlie, what you got?
Uh, um, three. Man, you put me on the spot.
You wanted to do
Yeah.
this.
um, three target practice.
Wow.
All right. Grappling hooks and target practice is what I'm gonna look at. All right.
Well, I don't want
Is
to
it
give too
is
much
it
away. I would give my full thoughts, but I don't want to give too much away.
all right, all right.
Yeah.
We'll table it for right now, and I'll come back. I'll watch it within the week.
All right.
But is it a movie that I need to pay attention to, or is it something I could like put in the background?
You should pay attention to every movie. Number one.
Well, no, because the way Eddie watches it, Eddie style, I could get the main points. For example, Captain America: Brave New World, movie we'll review today, felt like one of those, and that's a perfect segue. Tune in next week for my review of The Gorge. But this week we'll be watching Captain America: Brave New World. Sam Wilson, the new Captain America, finds himself in the middle of the international incident and must discover the motive behind a nefarious global plan. The director of this movie was Julius Ona, who directed the Cloverfield Paradox. And main protagonist is Anthony Mackie, Harrison Ford, and Danny Ramirez.
Great. Thanks, Eddie. So I guess I'll start off. I don't know, like I knew there was issues, like production issues going into this movie, but man, that first trailer, I don't know, like the way it was cut and it like I was like, this is like Winter Soldier Part 2 kind of thing. Like it definitely felt like they were going for the Winter Soldier vibes. And even in the movie, they were kind of going for it. Like they bring like essentially the team together. Like there's a Cap, there's a Falcon, there's a Widow, like bring the whole team back together. But none of this movie really works. This movie's pretty bad, honestly. Like in none of the villain there's I don't want to get into the spoilers for the villains, but there's definitely some questionable decisions, like especially one actor that they like bring in to do not much, honestly. And the other ones are like laughably just incompetent, and the CG looks horrible in this movie, most of this movie. I don't understand. Like they're not even
There's one part that comes to mind
I
for
didn't think it was that
commentary.
bad.
I don't know.
it wasn't even really the action scenes. It was just kind of like the people just talking, and it just like weirdly focused background, like unfocused backgrounds. It felt like a zoom, like cutting out the background. I feel like a lot of it was shot in the volume or like green screen. It looked just bad. Let's see what else. I don't know. I do. It kind of makes me appreciate Falcon and Winter Soldier a little more, just because I feel like that the Bucky and Sam relationship was better in this than Sam than any other characters in this movie, you know? Like a lot of those, like the new Falcon and the new Widow, like none of those really worked for me. I don't know. And the whole like plot with Harrison Ford president character, like him and his daughter, that we all remember his daughter from the first Incredible Hulk from 2008, right? Like what?
I remember, but that's because I watched that movie like multiple times, I think.
It seems silly like that it's like, oh, this is a relationship we should care about for characters we saw once, like 15 years ago. I don't know, it just seemed a little silly that we're even doing this, but that was my thoughts. What about you, Eddie?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just was that not invested in it that I didn't even notice the crappy CGI. Um, this movie felt long, even though it wasn't really that long. It felt just dragged on. I didn't know what was going on. Well, by that I mean like I didn't know like where the twists and turns were supposed to like come from or like what the ultimate like goal was here. Um, considering that they tried to bring back something that was like what I don't know, 20 plus years ago. I I, I had totally forgotten about a lot about these characters. Um, I was just not as invested as I thought I would be um right off the bat. And it wasn't because of the characters, it was because this movie, despite the fact that we've had several movies past Endgame, this movie to me felt like this is the actual beginning of something completely new. Um
Hmm.
so like it felt like this is the genesis of the next of like completely eradicating everything that we knew that was built for the 10 years and like actually starting to get moved forward, like the story itself starting to move forward where this is the next phase. I know they had phases, but this felt like the beginning of the new one. um
Well, this doesn't help. We don't really have a Marvel movie last year because Deadpool was
right.
its own thing.
um and part of the reason why I say that is because they're trying to address a lot of different somebody somewhere I feel like dropped the ball because they're trying to connect a lot of different storylines in this particular movie that it
Hmm.
almost felt like a plug-in movie for something that's coming. That's why I said like it starts like it feels like it's the beginning of something else because of that. Because there's just so much going around and there's so much precursors that you need to know. Because if you don't and if you didn't keep up, then you're gonna be really lost. More so than I was, and I think I've done my fair share of like making sure I watched all the shows, all the movies, all the little Easter eggs. Um, I have my little quarrels with this movie. It seemed a little Fast and the Furious for me, despite the fact that it's a superhero movie. Um, I just I think you're right, Chris. When you're like the trailer pretty much felt better than the actual movie. So I have my thoughts on the spoilers, but it wasn't bad, but it wasn't good, and it felt very very bland.
Hmm.
Despite the fact that now that I know that they deleted a lot of different things, it kind of feels like we got a short version of what was supposed to happen.
Like, how bad
Charlie,
was that stuff
huh?
if that was cut?
Well, that's
Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like how important,
How much
like
bad stuff was cut?
it also
yeah.
didn't feel like it also didn't feel like the stuff that they removed was somehow part like needed because the story felt like it was fine, like it was paced the way it was supposed to pace. It didn't. Nothing felt like where did that come from? Or like, you know, like how are you talking about that when we had no reference to it? Like, it was edited fairly okay, in my opinion.
Hmm.
But obviously there was just so much that was cut out that I was like, okay, I'm wondering what a final version of like that would have looked like. But I guess hopefully we'll find out. I don't know. Maybe Disney Plus will be like the original Snyder or whatever. I don't know.
No, they don't do that.
We'll see. Well, we'll see. You know, everybody's doing cash grabs now, right? Marvel Suicide Squad is coming out soon, so we'll see how that goes. Charlie, what about you?
I don't know. I feel like you guys are giving it a little too much. You guys are pounding it a little too hard. I thought it was. If we look back, well, it's the bar is pretty low. There's a couple of things with this movie. Number one was a trailer, right? I was also expecting something different with the trailer. I was expecting, I don't know, espionage and terrorists and um maybe more Red Hulk. I don't know if that's a spoiler or whatever, but Red Hulk from the trailer. And I think everybody was expecting more Red Hulk, not just what it was in the movie.
I mean, the
Well,
trailer is pretty much all of Red Hulk.
yeah, yeah. So it's like cool. Um, so you go into it, and I'm expecting what like the Falcon and Winter Soldier vibes, and it was very much not that. So that's already a disappointment in itself. You know, it's kind of like it has like the Joker 2 kind of like set up and let down. So that's one piece of it. The other piece of it is that not that the bar is very high, but given what we've had the last 2 years, right? Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania wasn't very good. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 was right? Marvel's wasn't very good. Deadpool Wolverine, I mean, it did very well, but again, it's Deadpool, so it's like it's an old category.
Mhm.
And then it's like this is the first one in the last 2 years to actually, I mean, be a decent movie. I didn't think it was like the most amazing Marvel movie, but I didn't think it was terrible either. I think if you look at it as like a conspiracy action movie, it's pretty all right. It's pretty all right. Like but like of course like it's Marvel, so you hold it to like a higher standard. And it's just like I don't think it reached that higher standard. Especially with the CGI. And once we get into spoilers, we can talk about that specifically. But in terms of like the fights were cool. I felt like there was a little bit like too much talking in this movie. Number one, I mean, just
100%.
yeah, just like so many speeches. Like, why do we need a speech for everything? Jesus effing Christ! And
You know,
Exposition,
he doesn't have the
exposition.
he doesn't have the super serum. You know, he needs to talk his way out of things.
it's just like my daughter and like me and like and you can do it and you can't do it and blah 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 and like the hits that he takes, I'm like, man, you should be in a hospital. You don't have the super serum, like you don't have anything. You're just a regular guy. Damn. Um, I would be in the I don't know how he's like getting stabbed and like being perfectly okay or whatever, but hey, that's Captain America for you, right?
Normal
I,
Captain America because he didn't have the super serum.
yeah, yeah. I do
Hmm.
like that it was like it does feel like the start of something new, especially because like Sam Wilson does have his own like trials and tribulations to like get through. I like that kind of like I like that angle of the movie, you know, especially when, you know, the president of the United States slash Harrison Ford looks at you in the face and like, you might be Captain America, but you'll never be captain of like my heart or whatever, right?
Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
My heart.
Yeah. Like, you know, you'll never be Steve Rogers. I mean, the audience is thinking that too. Like, where's Chris Evans? Bring back Chris, you know, where's Steve Rogers?
Don't worry.
Uh,
Yeah,
In the next one, Avengers will be there.
He'll be but again, um so I feel like you guys are just kind of pounding it down a little bit too hard. I thought it was a decent movie. I didn't think it was gonna like it's not gonna like blow anyone's minds away, but it wasn't terrible either, and then as far as like a standalone kind of movie, like if you took away the whole Marvel universe and just kept this movie, I think it'd be decent. Um, and that, those are my thoughts. But the spoilers we can get to, kind of we can do a deeper
All
analysis
right.
of everything.
Let's get into spoilers for all the MCU TVs, movies, etc. All right. Oh, do you wanna start off?
um, when he's talking down the Hulk and the Hulk is looking back at him I'm skipping to the end here, but this is like the cherry blossom scene
Yeah, that
where
looks
he's
like
standing there and
ass.
he's like, you don't have to do this. Prove him wrong, right? Like, terrible. Like, I don't know. I feel like a green screen would be better than what the hell he had in the background.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know what was going on there. It was bad.
the fights were cool. I will give this movie that the fights were really really cool. Um, um, so if anything, if people were to go watch it or on the fence about watching it, go watch it because the fights are cool. You're gonna be mad at me for the rest of it, but at least the fights are cool. What did you want to bring up, Chris?
I wanted to bring up the late edition character, Giancarlo Esposito. Like, you get the actor to be a villain in your movie, and what was the point of him? Like, was he set up for another time? Like, he doesn't
Just set
seem
up
to
for
have any
failure. That's what he was
powers.
set
Like,
up
he's
for.
just a guy with knives and like weapons, like guns. Like,
I thought he was gonna be
he was
the
nothing a character.
yeah. I thought he was gonna be like the Slade of the movie. I know Slade is DC,
Yeah.
but I thought he was gonna be like Slade level terrorist and like super smart and strategic that he sets up like Captain America for failure kind of thing. I thought he was gonna be the main bad guy.
Same.
I also thought
Definitely
I also
the
thought
trailers were putting him
yeah,
as that.
I also thought Red Hulk was gonna be the main bad guy. I thought this movie was gonna be like, we have a new way to like be the ultimate power. It's like, why can't I be president and the Red Hulk? I'll be a superhero. And then, Captain America's gonna be like, well, that's too much power. Like, you can't do that. And he's like, well, too late. I already did. And then they're gonna get in a whole fight about it.
I did think it was funny. As soon as he turned into Red Hulk, his like security detail immediately started shooting at him. It's like, what? You're protecting this guy like a minute, like you're trying to get him away from
Yeah.
the reporters, and the next thing you know, you're shooting at him. What are you
Can we
doing?
talk about what triggered him?
No,
Is
no.
that
The opposite of that for
is the
me, Chris, was the
speaker.
fact that they were shooting at a Hulk. Like they live in a universe where there's a celestial in the Indian Ocean. You know that nothing hurts the Hulk, so you're trying to shoot him with a 9 millimeter.
I don't know. I feel
That
like the Hulks
that
in the MCU are pretty weak. Like, are you talking like whatever? Sam beat him. Like, he's just a normal dude. Like what a little vibranium. He beat him pretty easily. I mean, I
no, it
assume
wasn't
they just ran out
vibranium. It
of
was the
budget.
vibranium being charged because it
It
had
doesn't matter.
on the charge.
It still seems silly
Well,
that
my
he was
point
able
is
to
he
beat
needed
a
vibranium
Hulk.
to cut. What is a regular bullet gonna do to the Hulk? Why are you
Yeah, also
shooting regular
true.
9 millimeter bullets?
Why are you even
You
shooting
know it's
at
not
him?
gonna penetrate. Why? What's going on? Anyway, you were saying, Charlie?
No, I was thinking the same thing. Well, first of all, when he turned into the Red Hulk is because I forgot the main bad guy. Like
The leader, I
the
think.
leader was played their recorded conversation over the speakers, right? And they're like, "Oh, let's get out of here." Right? Let's leave, Mr. President. Like, this is a bad situation. Meanwhile, the reporters are like, "Whoa, what's going on? What is this, Mr. President? Can you give us?" And he's like, "No, no, like I can't handle this pressure. Like I can't handle like reporters doing their job. I'm gonna turn into the Red Hulk." Like like that's what gets you over the edge is like reporters and your secrets being let out. Like, you're the president of the United States. Like, if you're not holding any secrets, what the hell are you doing?
You're not the president if you're not holding in,
Yeah,
secrets.
if you can't handle the pressure of a secret, like maybe you shouldn't be president. And then number two, it's been 20 years, or almost 20 years since like the first Hulk incident,
Mm-hmm.
and then they shot him with 9 millimeters and like military guns, and that didn't do anything. So like, is there no like Hulk protocol? Like, is there nobody being like, maybe you shouldn't shoot a 9 millimeter because it's not gonna do anything. It's like, no, I got this. And his main security, like the lady, like she doesn't have a super suit. She's not Captain America. Doesn't even look like she has like body armor on. She's like,
I
I'm
think
gonna
she had
stand here.
some by then. She was wearing like a different costume, it looked
I don't
like.
know, but it was like, why would you stand there? There's a Red Hulk, and he like took down half the White House, and you're just gonna stand there and like just shoot at him? Like that doesn't make sense. But um, but yeah, but it's I don't that whole scene just didn't make any sense.
Yeah. And then our final villain, Samuel Stearns, or the leader, he's like a Hulk villain who has like a big brain. I feel like the character whenever they do a character who's like, I'm the smartest person in the world and I know all these plans, and like they always seem like the dumbest characters ever, just because like you didn't put
I
this
mean,
into your
I want to.
plan.
I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He said he was very high on probability. He didn't say he was smart. He just said he could do probability very well, which is different
Well, he
from like
didn't.
super geniuses. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. I wouldn't put him next to Thor, but you know, I'll give you the saving grace of just. We didn't say he was a genius. We just said that he knows how to do mathematical probability, but somehow figure out how to turn the president into a Hulk by giving him low gamma pills. Which how do you how do you how would you even synthesize a ray, a gamma ray into? Wouldn't it just be vitamin D that he's giving them? Is that like I don't
Well,
I
he's
don't
super
even think that's
smart.
even physically possible.
Yeah, well, for him, it's easy.
Yeah, like him.
That's how
Like
smart he is.
he looks horrible. Like I know like that was kind of the point. Like he is like messed up because of the radiation that's got pumped into him, but like man, the costume design looked horrible. Like
It'd be easy to cover that up. You just need like a fedora,
A hat. Yeah, he wore hats.
a
He was
fedora
fine with
and
hats on.
yeah, he did have a
sunglasses.
hat, yeah.
He has several hats on. It was fine. This all the the villain in this movie just seems so overwhelming, and the problem I think specifically for Captain America, once Anthony Mackie took over, is that there isn't the threat that he's facing doesn't seem to be just enough of a threat. Like Steve Rogers, Captain America, like saved the world, the universe, or whatever, the multiverse. Like it felt like there were stakes.
I
But
mean,
Anthony Mackie's
he literally mentions that in the movie. It's like Steve saved the world from two alien invasions. Like how do I live up to that kind of thing? When he was talking with Bucky, who
yeah, he was talking
apparently
to
is running for
yeah,
Congress, which okay.
yeah, I don't sure. I was just like whatever. But the thing is like we know that's the thing is that that's the problem, not just like with this character, but just in general, is that
Hmm.
we know that this universe is happening. So these things that are happening cannot happen isolated. And if you are gonna have an isolated incident and just have other people as cameos, you have to have an actual urgency. Everything that the Anthony Mackie's Captain America has had to face hasn't really felt like a problem. Like, you know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel like even his series was like, oh, it's like a little small local like rivals. Doesn't really seem like eradicating half the universe type problems. And
Yeah,
even
but
in this
it
one,
doesn't
it's like,
need to be that. I feel like that's an issue with a lot of things. It gets too big. Like it
well,
doesn't
that's the
need to
thing.
be
It's like,
saving the world every single movie.
no. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying like the challenges he's facing because they're trying
Hmm.
to make it isolated. We know that he isn't, or he shouldn't be taking it isolated because we live in the universe where all superheroes are a ping away. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Banner
Oh
could
yeah.
have showed up in this movie because, like, he literally, his whole thing is like, I searched the world for gamma rays, and Red Hulk didn't come up not once on your radar. Like, you didn't know, or you didn't get like a notification that there was a Hulk happening, like type thing. Like,
That should have
I
been a
don't know,
post-credit scene. Him like watching the
something.
news. Like there's
You
another
know what I
one.
mean? Yeah, it's like, you know, I don't know. It's just like you said, Chris. It's just gotten so big that. But even when it's that big, it's like you forget everything. Like even with the Eternals, which referenced in this movie, is like, where were you during the entire Thanos fight? Oh, we're told not to interrupt. Okay, but you interrupted at the end of the movie. So are you gonna are you gonna be part of this universe or not be part of this universe? Like you can't have it both ways because it just kind of ruins everything else that's going on.
That's why it has to be small scale. So it's like we're not going to call well, there's no Avengers anymore, but
Yeah, yeah.
we're not
And I
going to
guess that's
call
the yeah,
Thor to save a guy with a knife, you know?
yeah, yeah, yeah. And I guess that's the catch 22 is like you can't have it all big all the time, but
Hmm.
because you're having it locally small, it just doesn't feel as urgent. Like me as an audience member, it's just my opinion, my perspective. I'm not as invested because I know that the issues that he's facing are very, very manageable. Right? All of these things that he's having is manageable. Despite the fact that we got three villains, quote unquote villains in this movie. I was like, one's super smart, that's okay, cool. You got a Hulk that doesn't want to be a Hulk, and then you got a guy who's shoots knives, and which by the way he should be dead. All right, Anthony Mackie like had battery acid fumes all over. They both should be dead. You can't breathe in battery acid fumes and be fine. Your lungs are gonna collapse. And this man gets thunder kicked into a windshield. This man has the Vin Diesel like I will not get done. I will not die because he is paralyzed by that hit. He also doesn't have super strength. There's no way he's surviving that.
It
But
reminds me of the fight of like Gladiator, like with
oh
Denzel at the
yeah,
end. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
how old are you? You think you're gonna be okay?
You can't get away from this guy. Come
Yeah.
on, man. Just come on, Captain America. Like if this is your biggest, if you can't fight 1-on-1, he's like he even calls him out too. He's like, "Oh, you're nothing without the suit." I'm like, man, if you don't shut this man up, this old man up, come on, like just fight him, just fight him
Does he not have the suit on him?
all the time.
Yeah,
No,
all the time.
Nope.
Everybody
It
I
else
doesn't
thought it
seem
does.
like
was a
it.
nano
I
suit.
thought
I
he
thought
was
it would
gonna
be like a
like
nano suit.
press a
Yeah,
button
like
on his chest and it was gonna like
No,
form
they
around
lost the
him.
Iron Man money. They don't have the Iron money anymore.
I thought he was gonna
no, it
like
has. I thought the Iron Man was a
you're telling me he
foundation.
has to like carry it around and like put it on, like
Yeah,
take
yeah,
the
I guess so.
5 to 10 seconds to like
Hmm. Also, later on in the movie, he's all like, they get him because he's arrested, and he's negotiating his like sentence with Captain America. You can't. Captain America has no leverage to not guarantee immunity to you or like your fucking sentence to the jail. He has no like say in that. He can't even get his best friend mentor out of jail. What makes you think you can negotiate your term in fucking jail in any
Wait,
capacity?
were those guys like actually like they seem like off the books kind of military people?
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
I'm
then
pretty
Yeah,
sure
they
it
were off the
was.
books.
there was a funny scene like so it looks like they were like raiding that like a building in this movie.
Yeah,
And then the guy
yeah.
gets a like a text and he's like, I need to make a call. It's like, aren't you in the middle of a job or something? It just seems
No, it was a
silly.
training facility, so they were just
Oh,
like
okay, training.
Oh, it
Okay.
was a training
they're just
facility.
running
I
they're
also
just
I
found
was
that
like, what the
confusing.
fuck
I'm
are you
like, aren't you
doing?
in the middle of like invading?
Yeah.
Um, but the I guess the whole premise of this movie is that he just has a he just has a bone to pick with this guy. Like that's the main. It isn't even about Captain America. You know what I mean? Like, it feels like Captain America is a side story to this. Of like,
Yeah, Captain America is his entire goal is to get his friend out of prison. Everything else just like, oh, he's kind of like stumbles upon it, you know? Like, oh, there's this weird brain tumor guy. And then oh, yeah, the president is actually a Hulk. That's weird. As long as my friend gets out, I don't really care. Though.
Yeah. Also, they're very they're very you know, he's allowing you to arrest him, right? This man has super serum in him. He doesn't need to be in jail. He can break out of jail. Like this man is super strong.
I thought he
Like
was going to break out when it's like you're going to solitary confinement. And he's like, "The hell I am."
yeah, I was like
I thought he was gonna start swinging on people.
he's like he's there by with
Choice.
his permission, not your permission. Like
Mhm.
he's super strong. He doesn't need to like stay confined here. He can leave
Yeah, I don't.
like whenever
I
he wants.
I kind of disagree with the fact that like I don't think it's just like Captain America, you know, being Captain America and things are happening. I think this is his first. I mean, this is his first real international
Nope.
incident where he has to like.
What?
Nope.
Did you
Nope.
watch Falcon and Winter
There was a
Soldier?
whole
Oh,
series
my
for
bad.
him. There was a whole series for him.
Yeah,
No.
that was yeah, but like not the first incident, but I mean, he's still trying to toe the line, right? Like
Again.
after the Accords were signed and there's no more Avengers. Like I think he's like trying to play the political game in this as well, where like Steve Rogers just had to like punch Nazis and aliens, right? Like I don't.
Well, I guess there might be
I
something there, right? The morality and the ethics that Captain America like stood by just happened to coincide with his time, like his timeline.
I still think the Falcon and Winter Soldier did all that stuff better than this movie was trying to do. Like the morality of being Cap Black and Captain America, you know? Like
Yeah,
I feel
yeah,
like this didn't really go into it. Like the his mentor person who went to jail, like the other Captain Super Soldier, like I feel like they were trying to like go into it with that, but didn't really go. I don't know. It didn't really say. It didn't have anything to say really. It was a political thriller without it being a thriller or really political, honestly.
Well, I was trying to figure out that part too, Chris, because in the series, there's a clear cut what we're trying to. His character arc is very clear cut. I don't know what he was supposed to learn or do or become in this movie. What was Captain America's character arc here?
He had
Yeah,
to believe in himself.
I
but
what was that? I
That
believing
don't
was
doesn't
like
was
help
that
him
that was the
though.
only thing I got where he was like
I think it's like I need a super serum because I can't do shit.
well no I'm
think
not
it's
even
just a
trying to
lot
be
of
funny.
doubt
I'm
as to
genuinely
why
asking
he's
like
why like Chris Evans, why does Steve Rogers leave it to him? I think was his main
Like
dude,
struggle.
we don't
Bucky
even get
talks
in that,
about that.
but we don't even get that to like address that until like the last 10 minutes of this movie. That you're telling me that's the main character arc of our main character?
But again, this was already done. This is already done in the series. So I don't
Yeah.
it
So
just feels like retreading for
this
the
is
people who
just
didn't
like
watch it.
Well, no, I guess what what I'm trying to get at is like, well, can we really call it a Captain America movie if it wasn't even about Captain America? Like the main issue here has nothing to do with him. There isn't any character development for the actual supposedly protagonist,
Mhm.
and everything that we know about this person we've already drowned out in a series. So like, what? Like I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm really trying to like figure out like if that was the case, then this shouldn't have been a movie, or maybe some of the stuff that was xed out, maybe there was some more stuff there. Like I don't know. Like I just felt like I think my thing with it was just like because I'm supposed to be rooting for Captain America. There was nothing to root for Captain America in this. Like the fight scenes were amazing. World War III almost breaking out against Japan for some reason. I was figured it'd be China, but I guess the market won't allow it. Um, um, sure, we'll fight Japan. That was
Yeah,
that was great. That was like awesome. It was
the whole Eternal Island, Celestial Island thing, like, oh hey, remember this thing from Eternals like 5 years ago? it's back.
It's back, and we
And
got it
then we're
for
not
you.
really gonna like go into it. Like it's adamantium, that X-Men thing you know about.
The thing Wolverine's made out of.
Yeah, I guess it's more just like we're setting the table for the X-Men slowly, but it
Well,
didn't really
yeah,
feel like a
that's what I meant
tangible
at the
thing.
beginning. It's like a 20-year Hulk storyline with a Eternals a year ago storyline, and now they're trying to introduce new characters like the Joaquin's Falcon or whatever it's called, like Ego maybe because he's Mexican. I don't know. Like they're trying to just. That's why I felt like it felt like a filler movie, or just felt like the beginning of something new because they're trying to just move it forward because there's just so much that still has to be addressed, hasn't been answered, and it's just this is like the beginning type of film moving
Yeah, it
forward.
definitely felt like we're making this movie, but we also need to do like a checklist of other Marvel things we need to mention in
Yes,
this, just to
yes,
put them for whatever Avengers. Like even like the end, it's like we're setting up a team, or I'm setting up the Avengers again, essentially. And even like the post-credit scene, it was like there are other worlds and they're coming. It's like, yeah, we know multiverse. We've
yeah.
known this
We
for
know,
like
bro. Like
since
we've
2020. Like,
seen
what are you
it all.
talking about?
Yeah, we've seen them, man, and we know about them, man. It's you don't need to scare us. This was a throwaway. This was a throwaway after credit scene.
You should have had like Hulk watching the news. That would have been a better post-credit scene.
The whole, yeah, anything. She Hulk open news. Something. I don't know. That's all I got.
Um, I guess kind of like back to your point on the scale, like this is Captain America, it should feel bigger kind of thing. Like I feel like it works more for like a Daredevil or Echo, just because like they are street level kind of characters. But like we said, Captain America is he should be doing bigger things. It feels I don't know, it feels too small. Even if he isn't like Steve Rogers type of powers.
Yeah.
Like he
Mm-hmm.
you should still, I don't know. I think they should give him more than what we got in this movie.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Anything else?
No, I got nothing.
Shira Haas was like the investigator of like the president's main investigator. Um, she's about 5'2". She was kicking ass. But standing next to Anthony Mackie and everybody else, like you can tell, like you can just tell the big difference. I
Oh
don't know.
yeah, she's so short.
Yeah, she's really short. But she was like, I don't know. At one point, it's just like it's like, can you really throw this like 200-pound man across the room? You know what? I'll take it.
You use
I'll
their
take
own
it.
weight against them.
You know what? I'll take it. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Shiro, number one. So, um, I believe it all.
All right, so let's get into our ratings. Would you see it in theaters? And I guess, do you want a Captain America 5? Eddie, take it away.
Oh man, Captain America 5. Holy cripes. That I forget that there's a lot of it. So like Civil War, I always thought was like a
An
Avengers
Avengers
movie,
movie.
but
Yep.
no, it was a Captain America movie. It just had so many people in there. Um, I will give this I go down the middle. I guess 2.5 Rosa Salazars out of 5, and that is a shout out to Rosa Salazar, who is credited in this movie, but all her scenes got deleted. You're number one in my heart, Rosa. I want to see those scenes eventually.
I
So
wonder if she was going to be like the Black Widow character instead of her.
I guess
'Cause
I don't know.
I don't
Like,
know where she would
yeah,
have fit in this current cut.
yeah. I mean, I would imagine they would have taken the time to give some exposition, but I don't
Hmm.
know. But you're the real hero of this movie. And you're not even there. like we discussed, like I said, it's not like it's the worst film like to Charlie's point. It's not like the worst film in the world. It's not like it's really bad where it's not bearable or anything like that. It feels like a very good standalone movie, despite the fact that it's technically a continuation of everything that's going on. But it's a Marvel film. I would say go watch it in movie theaters. We saw it in Dolby, so the fight action scenes for me, I did like, especially like I know you said it was probably the last CGI, but I enjoyed the action scenes and stuff like that. So if you kill an afternoon, definitely go watch it. Uh, part five, I don't know. It feels weird, but I think Captain America, it's time for it to be a side character. Maybe somebody else could lead. I don't know. Like I feel like
Or I think it should be like a team movie. Like,
or a team. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. A team movie, or have him actually take the adamantium or whatever, the vibranium or whatever, like the serum. Have him take
Hmm.
the serum. Have him have like that, you know, character arc where he's debating and then he realizes he needs to take it not because he wants to, but because he has to. So on type, and then have that kind of dilemma air out or something. It just needs. I feel like the character needs to evolve to something again with a little bit more universal, urgent, and maybe we'll get that. But for now, it is what it is. But still a pretty decent film. So if you can go watch it, but don't break your back about it. Charlie, what about you?
Um, yeah, I give this like, yeah, I'll give this three. Give this three Altoids out of five. And yeah, you should go. Yeah, we watched it in Dolby. It was pretty cool in Dolby, so you should go watch it, especially if you're just like if you're just keeping up with the Marvel stuff. Then yeah, go watch it in theaters. If you're kind of like on the Marvel stuff, it is the first Marvel kind of real Marvel movie besides Deadpool Wolverine that we got in like 2 years or like a year and a half. So yeah, go watch it. In terms of like Captain America 5, I just don't know like what other situations are they gonna put him in, right? Like what specific Captain America only situations are gonna come up? Like a Blue Hulk, more conspiracies, freaking like is there another bad guy he could fight? Is there like another terrorist group that he's gonna fight? Maybe they bring the series around as a whole. I don't know. You just don't know. Um, I'd like to see more Captain America, but just in probably like bigger movies, right? Um, so yeah. What about you? What about you, Chris?
Yeah, this was very okay to not very good for me. I don't know. It just didn't super work. Like, I know I should have known better, just knowing the production issues, but those trailers, man, it's got me. But yeah, I would give this 2.5 long walks on the Cherry Blossom Road out of 5. And I don't know, like Anthony Mackie, he's trying his best with this, but the script and the writing just not very wasn't very good, a lot of this. But like Harrison Ford, I feel like he was like sleeping his way through this. Like I heard someone say that he was the best part, and I was like, what movie did you watch? It was
They're just so angry at everything all the time and frustrated.
yeah, it was not very very good. And I think, well, I did say the action, like some of the action or CG doesn't look very good. I think I did like him trying to do like, oh, I'm Captain America, but I don't have the super serum, so I use my own gadgets and stuff. Like I kind of like that part aspect of it, even though I don't know how he's gonna beat a Hulk with a drone. I don't know. It seems silly to me,
It's
but
two drones. Two
two drones, yes.
drones.
But like I like the idea of that, even though he did get like his back broken by like a random thug in the beginning of the movie, which I thought was kind of silly. But as for a sequel, maybe maybe he takes like the Nick Fury type position, like him recruiting people. Like he's still like the leader, but in a different way, you know? Like the new generation of Avengers, which they were setting up in the Marvels as well. So is there like young Avengers and old Avengers or something? I don't know how it will play out, but I don't know. I don't.
It'll probably be something like, oh, and who's gonna be coordinating all of us? It's like I'll be in charge of that. And it's like Black Widow comes in, like into focus.
Which Black Widow?
I don't know, whichever
We have like
day.
a
Anyone.
couple of them now.
Or like, it's Iron Man, like, you know, coming in and it's like, I won't be in the fight, guys, but I'll be up here enjoying the show, calling the shots, and it's just gonna him being like, hey, new Captain America, we need you on Broadway Street. It's like, copy, heading over. It's gonna be like that. And that's how they bring like the old guys back.
Yeah, probably. As for theaters, I saw this in Dolby as well. I would say like Marvel does a good job with like the sound, the Dolby sound, because like you definitely feel especially the Hulk stuff, like him roaring or him punching. You definitely feel it in the sound, which I do appreciate when Dolby like uses the full effect of the sound, especially. All right, and that concludes another week, another episode of Straight to POD. You can follow us on X, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, Twitch at Straight to POD, and email us at straight2pod@gmail.com. All your questions and what color Hulk you want to see next.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Chris.
And now I'm Eddie.
Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.